Buenos gracias, bambinos. JD here. Good to have you on board. We do appreciate you taking the time to spend the time with us here on the program. We like our flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, and our politics a little messy. Jesse producing. Neil is joining us on the board today. He's our guest board operator, an Irishman. And you can tell if you're looking on the video today, he's the guy with the green headphones on. And he wanted to prove it. And just to welcome to the program today. And it's his first day on the board, so I want to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible for him. Occasionally, Neil, I'm going to slip in and out of Hebrew, cluck, Farsi, Gaelic, and occasionally I'm going to speak in tongues. So you'll know exactly when it's time to go to the breaks. But, see, he threw this Irish thing at me with the green headphones. So I got my, for those of you who remember our St. Patty's Day show, I had up my little leprechaun shamrock hat and eyeglasses. I didn't put the bow tie on because, I don't want to completely flip people out. But I have it over there, but I'm over here and the show's live now, so I can't get to it now. So anyway, Neil is working with us on the board today. Don hovering in the background, and if you see him scrambling, you'll know something is not going right. But it will, because that's what we do here. We always get it right. And if we don't, we just make believe we did. Poll question up there for you today at the website. Tonight, Herman Cain is revealing his 2012 endorsement on Fox News. Where do you believe he will throw his support? 38% say Newt Gingrich. 17% say Mitt Romney. 13% say Ron Paul. 8% say Rick Santorum. And 25% say it's justlunch.com. Dun-dun-dun. See, we usually have a little drum thing there, but that's all right. He'll get it. Now, that was obviously a little snubby. It was kind of sophomoric. Yeah, but, what the hell. When you've got the farce that we have in what's known as this process of picking who the next GOP nominee, potential president of the United States would be, hey, if you can have Donald Trump hosting a debate, you can have itsjustlunch.com. And Jesse didn't know that itsjustlunch.com is a website where it's a dating service. Get it? Herman Cain.
There he goes.
There we go. All right. Super duper. Speaking of Donald Trump, do you see everybody coming forward now? It's the battle of to Trump or not to Trump. That is the question. Sarah Palin has now endorsed the Trump debate, urging candidates to join. Sarah Palin, remember? She had a little pizza party with Donald in New York. And Donald Trump is a douche because Donald Trump eats pizza with a knife and fork.
Oh, man.
And in New York City, Ray's Original, come on, really? The triangle, fold the, just take the, oh, no. He's sitting there, I don't want to get anything on my tie made in China. It would mess up my image. So he eats his pizza with a knife and fork. Sarah Palin is urging Republican presidential candidates to take part in the Newsmax Ion Television 2012 presidential debate moderated by the fork and knife pizza eater Donald Trump. The former Alaska governor and vice presidential candidate, does anybody not know that, made her endorsement in an interview on Fox. Palin's endorsement is the latest high-profile conservative to support the debate. Listen to this no-nonsense endorsement of Trump moderating this debate. I think candidates should not be afraid in front of the nation, no matter who the host of the debate is. What is a bit appealing about this idea of Trump hosting a debate? Consider the diverse audience that he perhaps can attract. It's important that independents and those of us who are not obsessed with inside baseball partisan politics, we'd like to hear more of a message of each of these candidates, and perhaps Donald Trump will be able to attract a diverse demographic that maybe has not been as interested in this race thus far. A lot of perhapses, a lot of maybes, and a lot of assumptions that Donald Trump is going to be able to deliver a diverse audience, a diverse demographic. Well, I can think of a lot of other people that would be attracting a diverse demographic of people that would be watching the show. But that, here we go. She said America needs to wake up to what is going on under Obama's socialist policies and how he will bankrupt the country. I'm looking at the debates as a positive thing because of that. Who else is on board? Ralph Reed's Faith and Freedom Coalition. Grover Norquist's Americans for Tax Reform. The American Conservative Union, chaired by Al Cardenas, which sponsors the annual Conservative Political Action Congress, and both ATR and ACU are sponsors for the debate. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and former Senator Rick Santorum have confirmed their participation. Palin also said former governors Mitt Romney and John Huntsman were wrong to turn down the debate and urged them to change their minds. Now, as I went through these articles on Newsmax and Fox News, they mentioned Mitt Romney, Newt Gingrich, Rick Santorum, John Huntsman. Nobody mentioned Michelle Bachmann and Ron Paul. I wonder why. Oh, you see, because what this is all coming down to, folks, this is all now the big battle as to what the Republican Party looks like going forward. They say it's all about what the country looks like going forward, and that if Obama gets another 4 years, the nation will not survive. I don't believe that for a second, and I don't believe most people who aren't drinking the Kool-Aid would think that we're going to get through just about anything that is thrown our way. If you look back at some of the things that we have survived, you would have to think that that might be a little bit of a stretch. That Obama, Barack Obama, who's supposedly the most incompetent president that ever has held that office, he's going to bring America to its knees. Not communism, not fascism, no. Not World War I or World War II, no. Obama, he's the guy to do it. That's as stupid as the Democrats saying George Bush lied to them about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Remember that? Hillary Clinton got a pass because George Bush lied to her. The supposedly stupidest guy in the world, George Bush, hoodwinked the supposedly smartest woman in the world, Hillary Clinton, into believing that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And George Bush is solely responsible for getting all those Democrats to sign onto that joint resolution authorizing force in Iraq. Because he's that powerful. He's not. Barack Obama isn't that powerful either to bring America to its knees. But they're all gathering round. They're all paying homage. But now Sarah Palin has been saying out there that she said we really have to take a look at these professional politicians, that we can't have any more of this crony capitalism, that we can no longer go along with business as usual, and that we have to be responsible to the Tea Party, the message of the Tea Party, the movement of the Tea Party, and that people are tired of business as usual. They're tired of crony capitalists. They're tired of professional politicians. They're tired of the establishment, and that would include the Republican Party. But right now, the battle isn't for the future of the country. The battle is for who's going to control the Republican Party. And I firmly believe that there are many people participating and getting involved in this Trump debate who are more concerned about the success of this debate than they are about who wins the presidential election in 2012. Because whoever shows up and whoever supports this debate, if they can get enough of them together, this is the Republicans circling the wagons of the status quo. You see who they are. You'll see them say things now that goes against what they said then. You'll see them compromise principles because they want to be relevant. They want to sell keychains and concert tickets and books and pamphlets, and they want donations, and they want you to part with your money so you can help to maintain the Republican status quo. The circling of the wagons. I even looked at the Tea Party Express comments about the debate and about Newt Gingrich. Now, the Tea Party Express, the chairwoman, Amy Kremer, was talking about how Republicans are starting to conclude they may have to embrace Gingrich as the conservative they've been waiting for, despite personal and professional blemishes. If they want to stop Romney, who has the backing of a lot of people out there, but irks many conservatives, well, then you're going to have to figure out that Newt Gingrich is the guy that you can live with. Now, in looking at her comments, she said, this isn't going to be a walk in the park for Gingrich. But Gingrich's frank responses to the questions about his taking both sides of the same positions, his marital infidelity, the list goes on. We don't have to list them. I think most people know what they are. But she said, at this point now, Newt Gingrich is chastened. He's chastened. And he's more disciplined than he was before. And that has turned some skeptics around. I heard the focus group phony Hannity on Fox News talking about how that was 13 years ago. That was 13 years ago. They're holding him to account for things that he did 13 years ago? 13 years ago, folks, he was 55. He wasn't a child. Now at 68, all of a sudden, he's chastened. He's more meticulous in his thought process. He's more conservative. He's more principled. He's more disciplined than he's ever been before.
I find myself at the Basilica every Sunday morning where Calista sings, and I just have such a sense of comfort.
And now he's a grandfather, and that's brought a whole new dimension to the Newtster that we hadn't seen before. Do you understand what's happening now? At 55 years old, I give you an example. There was a script that I read for. It was a series. It was called Man of the People. James Garner got the starring role in it. It got down to Jimmy Garner and I as the two guys that would get the lead. And this was back in 1995, maybe 96, when we were coming off the end of Babylon 5. And I was reading for Network on this. And Jimmy Garner's got how many years on me? 20? 25 maybe? I'm 55. He's got to be, what, 80? If he's even still alive. Is he still alive, by the way? Maybe not. Anyway, that's how old he was compared to me. Now, the script was this guy who was married to, I believe it was the mayor, and she dies, and he, for however it happens, becomes the mayor. And he was a slacker. He just never had a job. He was always at the racetrack. He was always inventing something, he always had a get-rich-quick scheme. There was always something that this guy was always doing that never worked out, and he was kind of an embarrassment to the wife. But for whatever happened, he became the mayor, and the script was called Man of the People. Now, I did a decent job on the screen test. Not out of the park, but maybe, a triple. And then we got into the process of how this is all going to play out, talking with the agents, talking with the studio. And they said, we decided to go with James Garner. And I never, ever questioned a decision that was made to get someone else the role as opposed to me. I figured they just did a better job. They were right for the role, whatever. All I can do is compete with me. I can't compete with Jimmy Garner. I can only compete with me. I can't compete with whoever I'm going up against because I can't be them. They can't be me. I can only be a good me or a bad me. But on this one, there was something I knew that was fundamentally wrong. And what was fundamentally wrong to me, and I made this known to the suits at the studio, which you're not supposed to do, but I felt I had to do it. Because I said to them, this show is not going to work. And that's kind of braggadocious. That's kind of a stupid move in Hollywood when you're telling people that have that kind of clout that they've made the wrong choice. But I said, and here's why. Not for the person you chose or for the talent they have or for the better audition or the screen test that they gave. None of that. Or the decisions of the casting director. None of that. I said there's a difference between a guy, Jimmy Garner was probably 60 at the time, and I was maybe 40. And I said, at 60 years old, that guy is pathetic. If he's still making those kind of mistakes, if he still hasn't gotten it together. At 35, 40, somewhere in there, there's still some redeemable quality that person has. Not to say that redemption can't come at any age. Don't go religious on me. But the point was, when you're making mistakes at 20, you go, that's a kid. When you're making them at 25, 30, more consequential. 35, 40. When you start to become 50, 55, 60, 65 years old, and you're still making major mistakes in your life, you're probably a screw-up, you're probably a loser, and you're probably that guy at that age for the rest of your life. And I said to them, Jimmy Garner isn't going to work in this role. Now, Newt Gingrich, supposedly 13 years ago, who was so against everything that the conservative movement is supposedly for, such a financial sellout, such a two-faced bastard, that now all of a sudden at 68 he's matured and he's chastened. At 55, they were just whimsical, childish mistakes that can be explained away by youthful exuberance and inexperience.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
So to all of you 68-year-old screw-ups out there, Newt gives you hope. We give you the number, 800-876-4123. Stick with me.